What if Anakin Skywalker saved Padme on Mustafar? Before we begin, please check out the voice actors, the Shapeshifter and Nick Cortez. Their links will be in the description. Let's start the story mid-fight between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker. The searing heat of Mustafar's volcanic landscape blazed around all as Anakin Skywalker stood opposite his former mentor, Obi-Wan Kenobi. The anger in Anakin's eyes was palpable, but beneath that fire, there was something else, a flicker of doubt. Obi-Wan knew it was his last chance to reach his fallen friend.
Anakin! This isn't you! The Anakin I know wouldn't do this!
Anakin's grip on his lightsaber tightened, his mind a whirlwind of anger, betrayal, and confusion.
You turned her against me! You will pay with your life!
But Obi-Wan shook his head, his heart heavy with the weight of his former apprentice's fall.
No, Anakin. It was you who did this. Look at what you've done! You've hurt the woman you love, the mother of your child. Is that what you wanted?
Obi-Wan's words are truthful, and Anakin slows his breathing as his mind contemplates what Kenobi has said.
Your mother, Anakin. She believed in you, knew you were destined for greatness, not this path of darkness. Remember the promise you made on her grave, that you wouldn't fail her again. What would you call this?
Anakin staggered back. His resolve was wavering. The words struck deep, like a blade piercing the darkness that had clouded his mind. He saw the truth in Obi-Wan's words, the reflection of the monster he had become. His mother would be ashamed of what he had become, what he had done, and this isn't the vision she had for her little Anakin. The memories of his mother's dying breath, her final wishes for him to become happy swirling with him. And then Padme, his love, his hope, lying helpless because of his actions.
I didn't mean for this to happen.
Anakin whispered. He looked down at his hands, the same hands that had brought so much pain and destruction.
What have I done?
Obi-Wan stepped forward, lowering his lightsaber.
You can still make it right, Anakin. It's not too late. The dark side has clouded your mind, but the light is still in you. Let go of your hate. Let go of your fear.
Anakin glanced back at Padme, her breath shallow, her life slipping away because of him. And in that moment, the darkness that had enveloped his heart began to recede.
I can save her, but not like this. Not as a monster.
Obi-Wan nodded, relief washing over him.
Together, we can save her. But you must turn away from the dark side. Anakin, come back to the light.
Anakin's lightsaber clattered to the ground, and with that, the two Jedi rushed to Padme's side. They both sensed Padme had begun labor, and knew it was a race against time. They rushed to Polis Massa immediately, and they are greeted by Yoda, Ahsoka, and Rex.
Be here you should not. Turned on the Jedi you have.
And Yoda clutches his lightsaber, and Anakin stepped back, guilt washing over him.
Master Yoda, wait. Anakin has returned to us. He has turned away from the dark side, and is here to save Padme and their child.
Yoda could sense the truth in Obi-Wan's words.
Trust him I cannot. Much pain he has caused.
Master, please. We must save Padme.
Very well. But watch you closely, I will.
Anakin nodded, and they hurried Padme into the facility, where the medical droids were already prepped for an emergency delivery. Anakin stood by her side, holding her hand, his heart heavy with anxiety. The nightmares of her death, of losing everything he had held dear, were eating at his thoughts. The labor was long and difficult, but Padme fought through it. Anakin's fear surged as the hours dragged on, but Obi-Wan's calm presence and Padme's unwavering courage helped hold him steady. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the cries of a newborn filled the room. The droid helped up the first child, a boy, and handed him to Anakin. The overwhelming joy and relief that washed over him was indescribable.
Luke. Oh, Luke.
Padme whispered, a smile breaking through her exhaustion. Moments later, the second child, a girl, was born.
Leia.
He said softly, his voice trembling with emotion.
My beautiful Leia.
The nightmare that had driven him to the dark side shattered in that moment, replaced by the truth before him. His family was alive. His children were safe. The dark vision in his mind had been nothing but lies. He had been manipulated, likely twisted by Palpatine's deceit. And Anakin realized, now as he held his children for the first time, that the power he sought was nothing compared to the love he felt in this moment. The fear that consumed him was gone, replaced by a deep, unshaking resolve to protect his family and atone for his sins. Obi-Wan watched.
Anakin, this is your new beginning.
Anakin looked up.
I was a fool, Obi-Wan. I let my fear control me, but I see clearly now. I've been given a second chance, and I won't waste it.
Although approve I do not. Need you now, we do. Defeat the Sith, we must.
We have to strike now, while we still have the element of surprise. If we wait for Palpatine, he will consolidate his power even further. We may never get another chance at this.
Anakin stood beside him, determined.
Palpatine has taken everything from me. From all of us. I won't rest until he's gone.
A hint of the dark side remained in his voice, but they all knew they had more pressing matters. Ahsoka nodded, and together the 4 Jedi left for Coruscant in one of Bail Organa's ships and arrived to see the city landscape loomed ahead, its lights twinkling against the night sky. The ship landed in a secluded area, and Rex led the Alderaan security forces against the Coruscant Guard as a distraction, as the Jedi moved swiftly through the Senate building and arrive at Palpatine's office. They burst open the door, and Palpatine stands in shock, having not sensed the Jedi's arrival.
I'm not your puppet anymore, Palpatine. This ends now.
Palpatine wore a look of cold calculation.
You have no idea the power you are up against, Skywalker.
Without warning, Palpatine unleashed a torrent of Sith lightning against the Jedi. Anakin blocked it, whilst the others leapt away, and rushed at the Sith Lord with their blades advanced. Sidious brandished a second blade, and parried their assaults, and pressed a button on his sleeve to call in the Coruscant Guard immediately. Palpatine unleashed a Force scream, a wave of raw power and hatred that reverberated throughout the chamber like a sonic explosion, sending the Jedi stumbling back. Palpatine wasted no time, and took advantage of the Jedi's weakened defenses, and summoned a Force storm. The room was engulfed in a swirling vortex of lightning and wind, the dark side manifesting in a chaotic destructive maelstrom. The storm lashed out at the Jedi, bolts of lightning striking with precision, and the wind threatened to tear them apart. Yoda and Obi-Wan struggled to hold their ground, barely deflecting the onslaught of energy. Ahsoka was thrown back by a particularly strong gust, slamming into a wall with a pained grunt. The storm raged on, growing in intensity, as Palpatine's laughter echoed through the chamber. Anakin fought against the storm, his lightsaber flashing, as he deflected bolt after bolt of lightning. But the storm was relentless, and for a moment, it seemed as if darkness would consume them all. Palpatine's voice cut through the chaos, filled with venom and triumph.
You are nothing without me. Your power is but a shadow of mine. Embrace the darkness, and you may yet survive.
Anakin's heart pounded in his chest, his resolve wavering as the storm intensified. But then through the storm, Anakin saw it, a vision of Padme, holding their newborn children, her face filled with love and hope, as she encourages him in this fight.
No! I won't let you take them from me!
With a scream of his own, Anakin pushed back against the storm, drawing on every ounce of strength and willpower he had left. The dark side raged against him, but he refused to give in. He thought of Padme, of Luke and Leia, of everything he was fighting for. Channeling the Force, Anakin moved through the storm, his lightsaber caving a path through the chaos. The wind howled around him, but Anakin pushed forward. Palpatine's eyes widened as he saw Anakin advancing through the storm. The Sith Lord poured more power into the storm, but it was too late. Anakin had broken through. With a final leap, Anakin launched himself at Palpatine, thrusting his lightsaber through the Sith Lord, and Palpatine let out a final scream. The storm dissipated, the dark energy fading into nothingness, as Palpatine's body crumpled to the floor.
You've done it, Anakin. The galaxy is free.
Hey guys, did you want to be a Jedi or Sith for Halloween? Then our Halloween bundles from Fantasy Sabers are perfect for you. This includes your own Jedi gown in black or brown, accompanied by an assortment of sabers to choose from at a crazy discounted price. If the costume isn't for you, then we're offering a free belt clip, as well as 10% off every replica and some Padawan sabers with the code Halloween up until the 31st of October. With the belt clip, all you have to do is simply slide the clip on any standard belt, and the saber attaches perfectly through either the D-ring or Kovatek wheel. Please check the product description before you purchase, as there are a few sabers that are not compatible with the belt clip. Check out these deals on our website, the first link in the description. The Jedi quickly head back to their ship and contacted Bail Organa, who expressed relief in the knowledge of Palpatine's defeat. He had the delegation of 2,000 ready for this moment, and they enacted Order 65 immediately. Order 65, a contingency plan buried deep within the Republic's military protocols, had been designed as a safeguard against the rogue Supreme Chancellor and authorized the Senate to remove Palpatine from power and reverse any orders he had given that were deemed a threat to the Republic. Bail wasted no time, and the delegation moved swiftly, entering the Senate chambers and proclaiming their temporary takeover. Bail spoke to the Senate, speaking how the dark times are over, that Palpatine, who betrayed the Republic and selfishly created the Empire, is dead, that the delegation stands as guardians of democracy and calls upon everyone to support the enactment of Order 65 and restoration of the Republic. The chamber erupted into a wave of agreement as senators supported this action. Bail Organa and Mon Mothma spearhead the arrest of those who aided in Palpatine's rise and had them quickly detained. Order 65 also led to the immediate cessation of Order 66. The surviving Jedi, scattered and broken, began to emerge from hiding, but the damage had been done, and the Jedi Order was shattered, with most of their members lost in the chaos of Palpatine's manipulation. Yet the Jedi who remained were determined to aid in the Republic's victory. The Republic began the slow process of restoration. The Senate, now freed from corruption under Palpatine's rule, set about undoing the laws and decrees that had transformed the Republic into the Empire. The military was restructured, and the clones given the choice to remain in service or retire, free from the influence of the control chips that had once controlled their actions. The remaining members of the Jedi Council, Yoda and Obi-Wan, met to discuss the future of the Order. Yoda wants Anakin arrested for his role in the Jedi's destruction, but Obi-Wan convinced him otherwise, saying that Anakin redeemed himself by defeating Palpatine and deserves to live and guide his family through the Force. But Obi-Wan begins a deeper philosophical discussion that maybe Anakin was meant to turn against the Jedi and defeat them, that in this way he was bringing balance to the Force as the Jedi had become too strong. But Yoda dismissed the fact, as this would undermine his entire life's work. But Obi-Wan didn't forget this and started to believe it as fact. Meanwhile, Padme forgave Anakin for all he had done, and extreme joy filled her at the sight of her children. She's excited to raise her family, and she and Anakin make the decision to do this on Naboo, far from the turmoil of the galaxy. They were determined to give their children a life free from the shadows of the past, a life filled with peace, love, and hope of a brighter future. 20 years later, the sun shone brightly over the lush green hills of Naboo, casting a warm glow over the peaceful estate where Anakin and Padme had made their home. Anakin and Padme had been blessed with a large family, 6 children in total. Luke and Leia, their firstborn twins, had grown into strong and capable young adults, with both deeply connected to the Force and trained by their father in the ways of the Jedi. But they were not alone. 4 more children had been born into the Skywalker family, each unique in their own way. Their second set of twins, Shmi and Jin, were as close as siblings could be. Shmi, with her mother's wit and grace, was a natural leader, always looking out for her younger siblings. Jin, on the other hand, was more introspective, drawn to the deeper mysteries of the Force, often meditating alongside his father in the serene gardens of their estate. The 5th Jedi, a boy named Jason, was full of energy and curiosity. He had inherited his father's talent for piloting, and loved nothing more than soaring through the skies of Naboo in a starfighter, much to his mother's disdain. Jason had a strong bond with his older brother Luke, who often guided him in his training, tempering his impulsive nature with wisdom and patience. The youngest of the Skywalker children was a girl named Lyra. She was the light of the family, with a boundless sense of wonder and an innate connection to the living Force. Though she was still young, it was clear to everyone that she would grow into a powerful Jedi in her own right, her presence bringing a sense of harmony to those around her. As a family, the Skywalkers were inseparable. Anakin had taken great care to train each of his children in the ways of the Force, but he had done so with a new understanding, a focus on balance, compassion, and the importance of connection to others. He had learned from his own mistakes and was determined to ensure that his children would never face the same darkness he had. The bond between Anakin and Padme had only grown stronger over the years. Together, they had created a sanctuary for their family, a place where the light of the Force could flourish. Their home was filled with warmth, laughter, and the love that had sustained them through the hardest of times. But even in this time of peace, the galaxy had not forgotten the Jedi. As the years passed, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda had continued their work to rebuild the Order, training a new generation of Jedi to uphold the ideals of the Republic. The Jedi Temple had been restored, and while the Order was smaller than what it once was, it was stronger in its connection to the people it served. One day a message arrived from Coruscant. Yoda, the ancient Jedi Master, who had guided the Order through countless trials, had passed away. His death marked the end of an era, and with it, the mantle of leadership passed to Obi-Wan Kenobi. He had been named Grand Master of the Jedi Order, a position of great responsibility that he accepted with humility and dedication. Obi-Wan knew that the time had come to formally reunite Anakin and his family with the Jedi Order. He traveled to Naboo, where he was welcomed by Anakin and Padme, their children gathering around them as they greeted their old friend, Uncle Kenobi.
Master Kenobi.
Anakin said with a smile, his voice filled with respect and warmth.
It's good to see you. And to you, Anakin.
Obi-Wan replied, his eyes reflecting the pride he felt for his former apprentice.
I come with a quest. The Jedi Order has been reborn, and we would be honored to have you and your family formally join us. The galaxy needs your strength, your wisdom, and your light.
Anakin looked at Padme, who nodded, her eyes shining with support. He then turned to his children, seeing the eagerness and readiness on their faces. They were a family united by the Force, bound by love and purpose.
We accept, Master Kenobi.
Anakin said, his voice ready and resolute.
We will serve the Order, and together, we will help to bring peace to the galaxy.
Obi-Wan smiled, his heart full, as he led the Skywalker family in their oath to the Jedi Order. Anakin, Padme, Luke, Leia, Shmi, Jason, Jin, and Lyra. All of them ignited their lightsabers, the glow of the blades illuminating the room, a symbol of the hope and strength they would bring to the galaxy. As the lightsabers hummed in unison, Obi-Wan felt a sense of completion, knowing that the future of the Jedi Order was in good hands. The Republic had been restored, the darkness of the Empire banished, and the Skywalker family stood as beacons of light in a galaxy that had known so much darkness. Together they would face whatever challenge the future held, guided by the Force and bound by the unbreakable ties of family and love. And in the end, Anakin Skywalker had found the redemption he sought, not only through his own actions, but through the legacy he had created, a legacy that would endure for generations to come. Ignite your imagination with Fantasy Sabers. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out What If Vader joined the Bad Batch, or What If Luke Skywalker joined the Imperial Academy. If you want an insane replica, or other high quality sabers, check out Fantasy Sabers for all your saber needs. Link in the description. Let me know what you thought of the video in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and may the Force be with you.